So even though we're in the smack middle of summer, I really have a hankering for a bean stew. You know, it's one of those times where your body's asking for heart-healthy food to give you the energy to tackle on the day. Anyways, today, that's exactly what we're doing here on Spain on a Fork. We're making a very simple 3-bean stew with rice and vegetables. Now, this is the kind of dish that promises to fill your body with so much goodness. It's very easy to make, and the best part, it comes together in just 40 minutes, folks. As always, serve this bean stew next to a crunchy baguette and a bottle of Spanish wine. You're gonna have yourself one heck of a delicious meal. Really quick before we begin, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Karen Bird, Barbara Eastman, Uncle Bud, and Jim Schallert. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. All right, let's just dive right into this recipe. I'm gonna add in 2 cups of cold water into a saucepan, which is 475 milliliters. Then we'll season the water generously with sea salt and heat it with a high heat. While the water's heating, let's start getting our ingredients ready. I'm going to begin by measuring out 1 cup of long grain rice, which is 190 grams. Add the rice into a sieve and rinse it under some cold running water until the water starts running clear underneath the sieve. Of course, to make this recipe, you can use whatever type of rice you like, though the water to rice ratio might be different, so make sure to check the package instructions. We'll also roughly chop half of a large onion, roughly chop 1 carrot that's been peeled, thinly slice 1 celery stick, and roughly chop 4 cloves of garlic. Once the water comes to a boil in the saucepan, I'm going to add in the 1 cup of rice. We'll give it a quick mix. And then place the lid on the saucepan and lower it to a low heat. At the same time, I'm going to heat a stock pot with a medium heat and add in a generous 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 35 milliliters. After heating the olive oil for about 1 minute, I'm going to add in the chopped veggies. And we'll mix the vegetables around, that way they're all coated in that olive oil. And like I always tell you, it's very important to mix them continuously, that way they all evenly saute. After about 3 minutes, and the vegetables are lightly sauteed, you don't want to brown them too much, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is about 2.5 grams, and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, which is about 1 gram. And we'll give it a quick mix, that way the paprika and the thyme are evenly coating all the vegetables. As always, the Spanish paprika that I'm using is from Kiva. Like I always tell you, one of the best Spanish paprikas out there. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below. And if you buy it from that link, you'll also get 25% off your order. Then I'm going to add in a 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes, which is about 410 grams. And we'll season everything with a kiss of sea salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a quick mix, that way everything's evenly mixed together, and then simmer it for a couple minutes, that way the juices from the canned diced tomatoes can really thicken up. In the meantime, let's start getting our beans ready. I'm going to add in a can of white beans into a colander, a can of red kidney beans, and a can of pinto beans. Each can is 15.5 ounces, which is about 440 grams. And we'll rinse the beans under some cold running water to remove any of the preservatives or sodium. That way later on when we add the beans into the pan, they can absorb all the flavors. After simmering the diced tomatoes for about 3 minutes, and you can see that the juices have really thickened up, I'm going to add in the beans into the stock pot. And we'll also add in 2.5 cups of vegetable broth, which is about 600 milliliters. You can also use water here, but let me tell you, by using the broth, it gives the stew an incredible depth of flavors. Then we'll give it one final mix, that way everything's evenly mixed together, and remember to be gentle here, otherwise you can easily break those beans apart. And we'll turn up the heat from a medium heat to a high heat and bring that broth to a boil. Once the broth comes to a boil, I'm going to place a lid on the stock pot and lower the fire to a low heat. While our stew is simmering, let's move back to the rice. It's been simmering on a low heat with the lid on for about 15 minutes, and at this point, that rice should be perfectly cooked through. Once again, make sure to check the package instructions in the rice that you're using. I'm going to remove the pan from the heat, remove the lid from the pan, and using a fork, I'm going to fluff up the rice. This is going to help separate the grains of rice and then set the rice aside. Now the reason why I cook the rice separately and not inside of the stew is that way if you have any leftovers and you add it into the fridge, if you were to cook the rice in the stew, it's going to absorb all the liquid and the rice is going to get mushy. By cooking it separately and storing it separately, it's always going to ensure that your rice is beautifully cooked through with absolutely no mush in it. Okay, let's move back to the stock pot. It's been simmering on a low heat between 18 to 20 minutes, and at this point, all the flavor should be fully developed. I'm going to remove the lid from the pan. And as you can see, the bean stew has really thickened up, and this dish is ready to go. I'm going to remove the stock pot from the heat, transfer some of the bean stew into a shallow bowl, we'll top it off with some of the rice. Once again, by cooking that rice separately and not inside of the stew, it's going to ensure that the rice does not get mushy. And we'll sprinkle it with some freshly chopped parsley. Check it out, our 3-bean stew with rice and vegetables is done. A beautiful dish that's made with heart-healthy ingredients and promises to fill your body with so much goodness. Let's give it a try and see how it tastes. Now this is a dish I seriously cannot wait to try. It smells absolutely amazing. Here we go. That is what great food is all about. I'm telling you, it instantly hits a spot. It's exactly what I wanted. So many great flavors, and it instantly warms your soul. You know, these are the recipes you should be eating. They're easy to make, heart-healthy ingredients, and come together in about 40 minutes. Give this a try at home. Enjoy it right now during summer or any time of the year, and I promise it's gonna completely hit the spot, and you're gonna love the flavors it has. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below, and don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a 4 community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego.